Today's episode is once again hosted by the amazing host, Nicole Russin-McFarland. I think I know that person. That sounds like me. Okay. The other day I woke up and I thought I was Brad Pitt, but I think it's me. All right. Film directing. Actors observing real people. Actors get everything wrong without observing the kinds of characters they want to play. Well, what do I mean by that in my notes? Okay. Have you ever been from a part of the world and all these people talk in the part of the world like people who are from Hollywood or strange British / American accent hybrids? That happens to me all the time because actors see other actors, right? And it just catches from their Midwestern. I'm going to say this in like a weird accent. Well, not weird, but like not Midwestern. Midwestern accents are almost always wrong. It's like a Count Dracula Midwestern. They think actors think local accents are like those in television or movies they've already seen, and they continue mimicking those. So I'm from Illinois, and I can do a bunch of different Midwestern accents. All kinds of Illinois accents, all kinds of generally Midwestern upper mid-range accents, and Southern Midwestern accents, which are not the same as Southern American accents. And you know what? Everyone who's in the Midwest in a movie is either like, oh my God, you guys, I saw a that's Fargo. What do they talk like in Fargo? I don't know. But like everyone from the Midwest is either like, I seen, like that type of accent. And when it's not that, it's like this weird Southern thing, like, yeah. You know what? I just saw one of them, and I just like, I saw a bunch of them deer. They were going the back. And it's like, that we don't actually speak like that. Some people might have influences from Southern accents, but we don't actually all speak like that. And if you want to know what people speak like in the Midwest, a more accurate depiction would probably be local news interviews. Okay. And you can't from that either guarantee those are Midwesterners, because quite often now, Chicago particularly, we could say Chicago. That's a Midwestern accent. Okay. That's the old school one of the old school Chicago accents. They're getting a lot of people. I say they because I'm no longer in Illinois. Chicago is getting a lot of people coming from the South, from California, from other places, and now it's losing its local flavor. St. Louis, Kansas City is getting hot. So it's always my beef. I'm like, we don't speak like that. Like in a sing-songy fake voice. So what you do with your actors, especially looking at you directors who are a little guilty of thinking Midwesterners speak like that. Well, continuing with this first, you definitely want to correct that. Oh, and the other accent is people think Jerry Springer guests sound Midwestern. Yeah. No, but see, when you correct it, hey directors, body language and facial reactions are also frequently based on stereotypes. So how many self-made moguls and billionaires fit stereotypes, right? Or stereotypes of Midwesterners. Like I mentioned, I'm Midwestern. Are we all the same? No, we're not all the same. Stereotypes don't fit these people. And certainly the ones I hate the most are stereotypes about people who are poor or rich or whatever. Because there's so many complicated things to money. And as someone who has met some billionaires and also some very wealthy, multi doesn't begin to describe millionaires, these people sometimes often start out broke or in debt, severely in debt. That's a common theme. Some of them may have started out really poor from the projects, and some people start out from middle class America, and some people start out from upper class or the mega wealthy. You don't know. And then if you hear rich people in movies, they're all like, I say, young man, you must like hair dye, don't you? They're all like that. I've never met anyone who actually speaks like that. no matter where they're from. Now, if I lived in the Gilded Age in Manhattan, yeah, I probably would be at like, I myself might speak like that because I believe that was the accent of the time period. I'd be going out like, how to do my thing. And some kid would be like, "Oi, newspaper, newspaper." It wouldn't be like that. That would be Chicago. That would be like, "Newspapers, got your newspapers." And then New York, and it would be like 1885. But that's not the way people speak. And that's not the way poor people speak or rich people. That's ridiculous. They don't speak like that. So imagine that. Reading without hearing or seeing is only basing a performance on fictional imagination in actors' minds. But here's all the stuff, how to work with your actors. Okay, so you can indeed correct this by having them observe people you choose. Have your actors call local businesses, asking questions about products or what time the store closes or opens. This is actually really fun. Have someone call like a phone store. And I did that with somebody. It says like, you're going to call a phone store here. It's fun. You're going to ask this person. And it was a man who answered. It's like, you're going to ask this person what time the store closes. And you're going to ask them if they have a new iPhone. It was fun. And then it was like a guy who did not, he was, from the region. And we did. And it was fun, It was like, they don't know we're doing this for a movie. Ha ha ha. But, Okay, so send your actors video and audio links to real people you know. You can have different samples for body language and vocal accents. Body language is an accent in itself, and it's very regional sometimes. So I'm Midwestern. I've kind of fight myself to be outgoing. This is me at my most outgoing. I'm very kind of stoic a little in my body language. Like I'm a little shy. I make shy facial expressions. I can be screaming and give shy facial expressions. But somebody from South Florida is going to be moving her hands, and she's going to be like maybe walking less rigid. She's going to be like swaying sometimes a little bit more compared to me. Like to me, it's like a refrigerator walk. Like, are we moving this? Like, where's the U-Haul? And then there's this sexy girl from South Florida, doesn't realize she's sexy, and she can be like, walking and moving her legs and flicking her hair and doing stuff that a true Midwestern girl would never do. At least not in the way that a South Florida girl would never do, And that's sort of what I'm talking about. But there are also other things of body language, and you can point them out. Like, how old is this person? Is this person from a certain part of town where maybe, especially in New York, like Brooklyn versus Queens versus Manhattan? I mean, that's a difference. So you can have that. And if you go out, you can go out in that locale. Have a friend from that area, ideally an actor, help the others on their accents and describing what local color and characters are like. But you want to know when to break the rules. So generalizations aside, everyone is unique. Be inspired by someone's qualities that only he or she has, from voice to dress to body language. An example is Truman Capote, who was, unlike most people, born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And if you were to play him or someone like him on screen, you would want to do it full on, high blast on that hairdryer, lots of hairspray in your face kind of thing, like full flavor. You wouldn't halfway do that, would you? With your actors? No, you'd pull that out of your actors. Overacting, by the way, is actually useful in comedy and animation. We already know that as an audience, that this character is not real or it's a parody. So go for it. Like, be really weird. It's comical. Like, overact. And sometimes overacting emphasizes the truth. So that's the neat thing too. Know that the more outlandish characters are always going to have some basis in reality, but they don't have to be similar at all. Someone could play any fictional character inspired by real people they find online and in person, and past and present celebrities, living and dead. So say, I like Cole Porter. Okay, like I just like his vibe. I always say, what if I'm Cole Porter of the Roaring 20s, but they're 2020s? Like I say that because it would be cool, right? Okay. So say there's him, and I'm talking to someone, you're like, who else has a cool vibe of today? And then I would look around and say like, oh, maybe a little Clooney, maybe a little this person, and just come up with a list. And we could create a fictional person who's unlike anyone else based on actual people. It's the neatest thing. But you can combine your ideas because it's perfect. And then you have people keep guessing, like, who's this supposed to be? And someone who people keep guessing is Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. I'm referring to the one from 2008, not the Joaquin Phoenix one, in case anyone thinks like, hey, I just saw that. That's Heath Ledger. No, that is not Heath Ledger. That's Joaquin Phoenix. You'd be surprised how many people don't keep up with the times. But anyway, not everyone's a Batman fan. But, Heath Ledger, the 2008 version, fans online of the comic books and the movies always try to decipher who Heath Ledger was playing. Was he playing Truman Capote? Was he playing this other person? And he has something different that sticks out to everyone. So it's super cool. And I really want you guys to work with your actors and girls. I say guys all the time, but you know what I mean. Work with your actors. Bring the best out of them. But please, get them to be inspired by real people. And I know people try to stay away from that. But you have to. Because if you don't, they don't have any references. And they're just going to be like, what do I do? And sometimes people try their best, but you need to push them. You need to help them, or you're not a director. So get to work really well, and create unusual people for the cinema out of everything I've taught you. Remember, everyone, you don't have to be famous to start using anything I say. You can become famous because of using these tips, hopefully. I hope to see some people out there someday who say, hey, I listened to this podcast and now I'm super famous. I'm an awesome director. So good luck, everybody.